Welcome back to my channel. They say black magic doesn't begin with thunder, it begins with silence. A silence so heavy that even your heartbeat sounds like footsteps behind you. When Anya moved into her grandmother's old house in the outskirts of Ranipur, she never believed in Kaala Jaadu, curses, or the evil eye. She laughed at those stories until the stories began laughing back at her. The house smelled of burnt incense, though she never lit any. The windows rattled at night even when there was no wind, and every time she passed the mirror in the hallway, she felt someone else blinking from inside it. It started subtly, missing objects, flickering shadows, whispers that didn't belong to any living person. She tried convincing herself it was stress, but black magic never announces itself at once. It takes a little piece of you every day. One morning, she woke up with bruises shaped like fingers around her ankles, as if someone had dragged her out of bed. But the dust on the floor was untouched. She heard someone breathing under her pillow, and when she lifted it, the breathing didn't stop. Her grandmother had warned her about the woman who lived in the village decades ago, a woman who practiced the darkest form of black magic, who knew the art of binding souls. People called her the one with the evil eye. They said she didn't need to harm you physically. She only needed to see you once, and your life would begin to rot. Anya didn't believe any of this until she saw the old photograph hidden under the floorboard, a photograph of her grandmother holding a crying baby. The baby was Anya, and behind her grandmother stood a tall woman with hollow white eyes and a smile stretched too wide to be human. That night the house breathed like a living creature. Doors didn't knock, they sighed. Walls didn't crack, they whispered. Anya heard her grandmother's voice calling her from the kitchen, soft, trembling. But her grandmother had died 5 years ago. Still, the voice continued calling her name, slowly turning into a growl. She tried running outside, but the front door was stuck. When she looked through the peephole, she saw her own face staring back at her from the other side, smiling in a way she knew she never could. The next days blended into each other like a nightmare painted in darkness. Anya stopped sleeping because every time she closed her eyes, someone else opened them. She started losing track of time. Sometimes morning felt like evening, and sometimes evening felt like a memory she never lived. Then came the dreams where she was standing in a circle made of ash, while a woman chanted in a language older than the village itself. The ground beneath her feet pulsed like a beating heart, and each time she woke gasping for air, finding ash fingerprints on her throat. She finally decided to leave the house, but when she stepped outside, she realized the village had changed. The streets were empty, the lights flickered red, and the shadows moved even when nothing else did. A black crow followed her everywhere, its eye glowing like a burning coal. The villagers stared at her with fear, whispering, "She has been marked. The evil eye won't let her leave." That night, she visited the old temple at the edge of the forest, hoping to find answers. The priest told her the truth. Long ago, her grandmother had saved her from the witch who wanted to bind her soul. The witch died, but her spirit didn't. It attached itself to Anya the moment she was born. "You were never alone," the priest said. "You were being watched." The evil eye had been waiting 25 years to reclaim what it believed belonged to it. When Anya returned home, the house was darker than ever. Every corner breathed. The mirrors reflected things that weren't in the room, and somewhere deep inside the walls something scratched. Slow, deliberate, patient. That night, Anya saw the witch for the first time. She was standing in the hallway, tall, thin, her spine bent at an angle no human body could survive. Her eyes were white, glowing faintly, her long hair floating as if underwater. She opened her mouth, and instead of words, thousands of whispers spilled out. Whispers of people whose souls she had taken. Whispers begging for release. Anya couldn't scream. The witch placed her cold, bony hand on her cheek and whispered, "You were mine before you were born." Suddenly, Anya found herself in another world, a dark, endless field filled with shadows crawling like insects. She realized these shadows were souls trapped for eternity, and she was about to become one of them. But then she remembered her grandmother's last words, "The evil eye sees everything, but it cannot see." Courage! With trembling hands, Anya drew a circle on the ground with the ash that covered her clothes. The shadows screamed, the witch lunged at her, the world shook, the air burned, but Anya kept chanting the prayer her grandmother had taught her. Light erupted from the circle. The witch shrieked, her body twisting, cracking, breaking into dust. The trapped souls cried in relief as they were freed, rising like sparks into the darkness. When Anya opened her eyes, she was back in her room. The house was quiet, truly quiet for the first time. The mirrors were empty, the bruises were gone. The air felt lighter. She thought it was all over. She thought she had won. But as she turned to leave, she froze. On the wall behind her, written in long black strokes, were the words, "Evil never dies, it waits." And from the corner of the room, a single white eye slowly opened.